Hello everyone. In the previous lecture, we have seen what is a software quality attribute prediction model. So software quality attribute is one of the measurement attribute which is not directly measured. So there are some prediction model which is used in the early phase of development. So out of which the software quality is depend, one of the attribute on which software quality is depend is the reliability. So in the last we have seen what are the different reliability model, in which we have discussed basic execution time model. Then we have discussed logarithmic Poisson execution time model and Jelency-Morenda model. So these are the three models by which we can measure the reliability of the software, which is the one of the attribute of measurement of software quality. So likewise, this reliability is also one parameter. So we have a next model which is also used to measure the software quality, which is a fault prediction model. So in fault prediction model, the software matrices can be used to capture the quality of object-oriented design and source code. So we have seen that whichever the software matrices which we have captured, which used for the quality, which is to measure the quality of object-oriented design and the code. So these matrices provided a way to evaluate the quality of the software, and their use in the early phase of software development can help to organization in accessing the large software development quickly at low cost. So whichever these matrices which we are used, basically it is used to evaluate the quality of the software, and based on this quality of the software which we have calculated at the early phase, which is helps to large organization in accessing the large software development quickly at the low cost. So to achieve the help of planning and execution testing by focusing the resources on the fault prone part of design and source code, the model used to predict the fault classes should be used. So what is our aim is that we have to find out, as we have the object oriented design, so in which we have to identify the classes that are prone to have the fault. Means we have to find such a classes that classes is actually contain a faults that prone to be a fault. So that's why we need a model. So the fault prediction model can also be used to identify the classes that are prone to have the serve the faults. So the aim of this fault prediction model, we have to find out the such classes that prone to have the serve the fault, so which contain the faults. Such classes you have to identify, that is aim of fault prediction model. So one can use this model with respect to high survivability of the faults to focus the testing on those part of system that are likely to cause the serious failure. So obviously the aim of this prediction, we can go with the rate of survivability, means at what level this failure is available in that class, that survivability rate you have to identify, and based on that survivability rate you can identify which class we having the high survivability of the fault and which having the low. Likewise we can get through this model. So we can describe this model used to find the relationship between the observed oriented matrices and fault proneness at the class level. So the aim of this model, we have to establish the relation between the what are the matrices used for the object oriented, and you have to make the relation with the what is this fault proneness at class level. So to perform this analysis, we have used one example, which is a NASA dataset, which is developed on the C++ language, which have the different classes. So we have used this example for to represent the fault proneness. So the goal of analysis to explore the relationship between the object-oriented matrices and fault proneness at the class level. So the fault proneness is actually binary dependent variable. And what are the object-oriented matrices? Like we have WMC, CBO, RFC, LCOM, DIT, NOC, SLC. So these are the independent variable. Actually, these are the object-oriented matrices which already we have learned in the object-oriented matrices. So whereas WDM is the weighted method per class, then CBO is the coupling between the object, then else, then we have DIT is the depth of inheritance T, NOC is nothing but a number of children, SLOC is nothing but a source lines of code. Like these are the object oriented matrices which we consider to establish the relation with the fault proneness at the class level. So the fault proneness is defined as the probability of the fault detection in the class. Obviously, how to identify the fault proneness? We have to check the probability of the fault detection in the class. So identifying the probability of that detection of in the class, that we call as fault proneness. So we first associate the defect with each class according to their survivability. So what is the first aim? We have to find out the defects in each class and according to their survivability. So so the value of the survivability quantifies the impact of defect on overall environment, with 1 being more served and 5 being the least served. So we assign the survivability of that proneness by the value where the 1 is the most served and 5 is the least served. So the fault with survivability rating 1 were classified as high survivability faults. The fault with the survivability rate 2 were classified as a medium survivability faults, and the fault survivability rating with the 3, 4 and 5 we considered as it is low survivability faults. So we have one table which having the distribution of fault and the fault classes at high, medium and low severity rate, as considering the example of KIC NASA dataset which pre-processing faults in dataset. So based on that dataset we have different classes, and out of that we have defined that classes which having the high, medium and low severity rate. So this is a table represent the distribution of fault and faulty classes. So the level of first column is the level of severity with high, medium and low. So number of faulty classes out of the identify the classes from the NASA dataset. So 23 classes having the faulty classes with high severity, 58 classes are the with a medium severity, and the 39 classes are the low level severity. Then percentage of faulty classes. So out of the total classes, the 15.56 with the high severity with the faulty classes with 40%, 26% for the low. So number of faults which we identify, the 48 faults which are the high severity, 449 are the medium severity, and the 145 is the low severity. And what is the distribution of that faults among the 100%? So 7.47 percentage of faults are considered as are the high severity faults. Then 69.93 are the medium severity faults, and 22.59 are the low severity faults. Okay, so based on this table indicates that the which are the high severity classes and which are the low severity classes. So based on these particular values, this will help so that which classes are we need to first consider, then the medium and then the low. Okay, so once you identify this, then the next step of our analysis to have to find the combined effect of object oriented matrices on the fault proneness of classes at the various security level. Now what is the next step? Once you identify the faultness among the classes, we have to find out its what is its combined effect of these classes on the while measuring the object oriented matrices like WDM, then while CBO, while measuring these object matrices, what is its combined effect of these classes on the survivability various layers. This is our next step. So we obtain from our fault prediction model, where first you have to use the high severity fault, then second with the medium severity fault, and third with the low severity rate, and then the last we have with the non-graded severity way to handle. So based on this, once you identify the fault proneness of the classes with what is the effect with the object matrices. So while considering object matrices, we first consider the high severity fault, then we consider the second one is the medium severity fault, then the third we consider the low severity faults, and the fourth one we have considered which is a non-graded ungraded severity fault, which will consider. So the fault prediction model. So the performance of this fault prediction model is typically evaluated is by using the confusion matrix. So in order to validate the finding our analysis, we must commonly use the evaluation measure like sensitivity, specificity, completeness, precision, and ROT analysis. So what is this confusion matrix? It helps to make the prediction of fault prediction model. So in which this confusion matrix having the observed and prediction predicted, these are the rows and column. So in which the row values are 1 0 and column values are the 1 0, where 1 indicate fault prone and 0 indicate non fault prone. So based on this, a combination of 1 1 which indicates the true fault prones, which indicate TFP. What is TFP? Is a true fault prones. When the value is 0 1, it's called as fault not fault prones. So it is FNFP, which indicate false not fault prones. Okay, then we have the false front prone, which FFP, and the last is what? True not false prones at TNFP. So these are the four indicates the parameter in which indicates the performance, which this parameter helps for the prediction of fault prediction. So which we have the parameter true fault prones, in which both are the true value in the observed fault prones also, and predicted both are the true. So in that case, if it is 1 value for observed and prediction, it's called as TFP. When the observed is 1 and predicted is 0, it is called as not false, not false prone. When it is 0 0, it is false prone, FFP, and if it is a 0 1, indicates that true not false prone, that is TNFP. So these are the four used for the prediction. Then we use a common evaluation measure like sensitivity, specificity, completeness, precision, ROC analysis for measuring the fault prediction. So what is the precision? Once you identify this value of TFP, TNFP, FFP and TFP. Once you calculate this four value, the precision is defined as the ratio of number of classes are correctly predicate to the total number of classes. So how to calculate the precision is the ratio of number of classes are correctly predicted to the total number of classes. So obviously corrected predicted values are nothing but TFP and TNFP. What is TFP is nothing but true fault prones, and TNFP means what? True not false prone. So in case of predicted values are true, in that case TFP and TNFP. And what about total number of classes which might be generated the prones? Nothing but the sum of all, that is TFP, FNFP, FFP and TNFP. So it's very simple. TFP means what? True false prone. In case observed fault also true and predicted fault false also true. So that's what TFP. What is TNFP? In which predicted is true but observed is false. That's why true not false prone. Okay, what is TFP? Again the same, but FNFP means what? False not false prone. So in which indicates that predicted is false but observed is true. So FNFP. FFP means what? Both are false, that is false fault prones. And so this is a combination. So based on this, what is precision is calculated? The ratio of number of classes are correctly predicted. So that's why on the upper side of the division we have TFP plus TNFP, in which true predicted part is true, and division we have all the sum of that all four prone classes. Okay, and next the sensitivity is also one of the parameter for the fault prediction. Sensitivity is defined as the ratio of number of classes are correctly predicted as a fault prones to the total number of classes that are actually fault prones. So that's why we only consider out of the correctly predicted classes which having only faults. That's why we have only TFP, which true fault prones on the upper side, and division we have total number of classes which actually fault prones. So which are the actually class having the fault prones are the TFP and FNFP. So that's when the division we have TFP and plus FNFP. So based on this division, we can call a sensitivity, which we call it as a recall function of sensitivity. Then a completeness is defined as number of fault in the classes classified fault prones divided by total number of faults in the system. So completeness is defined as number of faults in the classes classified as a fault prone. So on upper side we have the classes which are fault prone and divided by total number of fault in the system. So that we call as completeness. And one of the prediction attribute is what? Receiving operating characteristics, ROC curve. So the performance of output of predicted model was evaluated using ROC analysis. ROC curve is defined, which is defined as a plot of sensitivity on the y coordinate versus its one specificity on x coordinate. So it's very simple. On the upper side we have already calculated the sensitivity and the completeness. So that sensitivity and the specificity we have to plot on the x and y axis. The plot, which is a ROC curve, is an effectiveness method of evaluating the quality or the performance of predicted mode. So once you calculate the sensitivity and the specificity on the x and y coordinate, we have to draw that curve, and the curve which capture the effective method for evaluating the quality of the performance of predicted model. So while constructing the ROC curve, we selected many cutoff between the 0 to 1, calculate the sensitivity and the specificity at the each cutoff point. So which we have taken the cutoff point by which we can maximize the sensitivity and specificity. Based on that, we have drawn the ROC curve. That ROC curve determine the optimally cutoff model, and under the ROC curve is combined measure of sensitivity and specificity. In order to capture the accuracy of predicted model, we use the area under the ROC curve. So at the last, when we use the ROC curve, whatever the area under the ROC curve we consider as a accuracy of measuring the performance and the quality of your model. So that is about the fault prediction model by which we can measure. So first we have to parameter we have to calculate, which is a confusion matrix. But once you calculate the confusion matrix, based on that you have to calculate the completeness, specificity, sensitivity, and the precision. Based on that value you have to plot the ROC curve, and ROC curve will give the accuracy about the prediction of software quality. That is about the fault prediction model, because fault prediction is the one of the measurement for the measuring the quality. So based on the finding from the analysis, we can use SLOC and CBO phases of the software development to measure the quality of the system, and the classes with higher severity need extra attention. So we use the parameter SLOC, source lines of code, and the coupling between the objective COB phases for the development, which measure the quality of the system. It helps to measurement the focusing on those classes that likely causes the serious failure. So obviously we consider only that classes which having the high survivability of the fault. So the model predicted in this will helps to planning and executing test case actively, and based on that we can calculate the classes which having the high survivability of the fault and which will survive the first. So that is a fault prediction model. Okay. The next model, which is also used for maintaining the measuring the quality of the software, that is a maintenance effort prediction model. The cost of software maintenance is increasing day by day. A development may take 2 to 3 years, but a same software may have to maintain for another 10 or more than 10 years. Hence, a maintenance effort is becoming an important factor for the software developer. So the obvious question is that how should we estimate the maintenance effort in early phase of software development lifecycle? Because the maintenance phase in which the changes are given. So before development of that maintenance, how you know that the cost of what is the cost for the maintenance is required? So the estimation helps to calculate the cost of software maintenance, which customer may like to know at the early phase in order to plan the costing and project. So that whenever the maintenance has given the changes, at that time the developer team must know what is the maintenance cost is required at the early phase. So how should we calculate the cost of the maintenance at the early phase? So for that purpose, we have that model which called as maintenance effort prediction model, which will calculate the maintenance effort at the early phase of development. So based on that calculation, the developer will plan the in order to plan the costing and the planning of the project. Okay, so the maintenance effort which we actually calculate through the maintenance effort prediction model. So maintenance effort is defined as a number of lines of source code added or changes during the maintenance phase. Obviously we are spending the effort during the maintenance regarding to add a new lines or to change line. So that is aim. So that how many lines and how many codes is added or changed, that effort we have to consider for the maintenance effort. So a model has been used to predict the maintenance effort using, we have developed this maintenance prediction model using the artificial neural network. So ANN helps to predict the maintenance cost at early phase. So this maintenance effort prediction model, which is developed by using ANN. So this is a simple model and predictions are quite realistic. So in this model, the maintenance effort is used as a dependent variable, and the independent variables are 8 object oriented matrices, namely as WMC, then CBO, RFC, LCOM, DIT, NOC, DAC, and NOM, which is like lines of source code, then coupling between the then weighted method per class. Like these are the object-oriented matrices which are the independent variable, and the maintenance effort we have considered as a dependent variable. So based on this relation, we have trained this model. So model is trained and tested on a 2 commercial software product, which is a user interface management system UIMS and quality evaluation system. These are the UIMS system consists of 39 classes and QES system consists of 71 classes. So these two system we are used for using for the testing to get the maintenance effort prediction model. So this ANN we are used for this measuring the maintenance effort prediction model. So in this ANN network used in this model prediction belongs to the multi-layer feed forward network. So obviously for this model we have used the multi-layer feed forward network, which is referred as MHQ, where M represents as source node, H represents as the hidden layer, and O nodes indicates the output layer. So by this MHQ network is developed by ANN, and that model is used for the finding the prediction for effort maintenance effort prediction. So the input lines are connected to the every nodes of hidden layer, but are not directly connected to the output node. So this network does not have a lateral and shortcut connection. So that input is connected to hidden layer, so that input is not directly connected with the output. So artificial neural network respectively adjust the different weight so that the difference between the desired output from the network and actual output from the network should be minimized. That is aim of this ANN. So the network learns by finding the factors of connection weight that minimize the sum of square error of training data set. So this is a summary of this, a table represent the summary of that ANN model, which the layers used in this ANN are the three. One is input, one is hidden, and third is what? Output. So input units inside the input layer are 8, hidden units are 9, output units are 1, and inside the training we have transfer function, which is tan-seq, algorithm which is the back proposition, and training function is a train BR. So these are the summary which used for the ANN network. So through this, the ANN is trained by the standard error back propagation algorithm at learning rate of 0.005, having the minimum square rate is training. So the the main square used for evaluating the model performance is the mean absolute relative error. So aim of this, we have to measure the performance that with by the values called as mean absolute relative error, is MARE. So MARE is preferred error measure for software measurement researchers, and which calculated as a summation from I to n, mod of estimate minus actual divided by total n, where estimated is the predicted output by the network for each observation, and actual is the actual output you are getting from that calculation, and n is the number of observation. So to establish whether model is biased and trained to over or underestimate, a relative error is also calculated. So mean relative error is MRE is calculated as a sum of 1 to n, estimate minus actual divided by actual, mod divided by n. So just mod is removed, and that's why we calculate the relative error. Okay, so based on these two measurement, what are the steps are used in the maintenance effort prediction model? So these are the 5 steps are used to measure the effort during the prediction model. So what is the first step? The input matrices are normalized using min max normalization. Min max normalization performs a linear transformation on original data. Let's assume min A and max A are the minimum and maximum values of attribute A. So it maps the value V of A to V dash in the range of 0 to 1 using the formula V dash is equals to V minus min A divided by max A minus min A. So once you calculate this V dash, then the performance principal component PC analysis on normalized matrices to produce the domain matrices. So once you apply the PC analysis on the normalized matrices, we get the domain matrices. Now we divide that data into training, test, and validate set into the ratio of 3:1:1 ratio. So we divide that data into the training, test, and validate set into 3:1:1 ratio. Now then after we have developed the ANN model based on the training and test the data set. So then after once you got the data, we have developed this ANN model on the training and test data set, and apply this ANN model to validate data set in order to evaluate the accuracy model. And at the end we have to calculate the accuracy of this model once you train, and then we have to validate the order based on the accuracy. So you have to apply this 5 step to get the finally the accuracy of the maintenance effort, and at the end through that accuracy we can measure the what is accuracy we got through that this model. So these are actually the model which is used for the maintenance effort prediction. These are the 5 steps are used for the maintenance effort prediction model. So at the end, so these are the 2 models which we are discussing in this lecture. The first is uh, fault proneness, like fault prediction model. So the fault is one of the parameters also used for measuring the quality, and the number of, so in that case we have considered the fault which are the high severity, and then we have second model which we have considered the maintenance effort prediction model, because the maintenance is a very important activity, and at early phase of the maintenance you must know what is the cost of effort which is required for the maintenance, and that also the cost we can calculate by using the maintenance effort prediction model, where we have used the ANN which we train the data set, and based on that they will get the accuracy about the how the maintenance effort is calculated. Okay, so these are the 2 models also used to measure the quality of the software model. So that is about the software quality model. Thank you.